Hello there. Welcome back, guys. My name is Dr. Jade Scott. I'm here with Zach, our client service representative here at Deer Park Veterinary Hospital in the lovely outdoors. And we are just going to go over some quick review and education on fleas and ticks. Obviously, some unwelcome guests. My assistant, Zach, client service representative, he'll be helping us out by asking some questions. And I hope we're able to better help you understand about treating and, most importantly, preventing fleas and ticks. All right, Zach.
So, Dr. Scott, how does my dog get fleas and ticks?
Yep, great question, Zach. Honestly, if the dog goes outside, your furry family member even steps foot outside, or even just chilling on the balcony or patio, even if they go inside on the pee pads, but they go out for a quick little spruce outside, they are susceptible to fleas and ticks.
And then, can fleas and ticks spread from my dog to my home and my family?
Yep, another great question. Absolutely, yes. If the flea can jump onto your furry family member and the tick, they can potentially become transmitted to us and jump on us in the case of fleas, and then also with ticks, especially if your dog or cat sleeps in the bed with you or shares the couch, they can definitely spread to us and our home and our family.
So, you touched on it a little bit, but my dog, she's primarily an indoor dog, so
Yeah.
she's still susceptible to the fleas and ticks.
Yep. Unfortunately, even if the furry family member is indoor only or primarily indoor, we have the not power, but we can serve as a route of transmission for the fleas and ticks. They can jump on us, flea wise, and ticks if we go out on hikes or if we're in contact with a dog that might have ticks. It's unlikely, but we can serve as that source basically.
Then, what health problems can fleas and ticks cause for my dog?
Yep. So a bunch of health problems. So anemia, of course, with that, of course, they're both blood-sucking organisms. And also with Lyme disease is a big one, especially with us being here in Deer Park and Cincinnati in general. And so, yeah, Lyme disease is a big one. It is also zoonotic, meaning that it can be transmitted to us as well and vice versa. And also, there's different things called like Ehrlichia or anaplasmosis, so different diseases with the blood, and also something called Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So we have to be very on the lookout for those. But Lyme disease, I would be most concerned about, of course.
How effective are flea and tick medications?
Flea and tick medications are very, very effective. We have seen them, and of course, with the medications and preventions that we have here, the preventatives known as Simparica Trio, Revolution Plus, and Brevecto, they have all been tested and we all trust them basically as great prevention for our dogs and cats. And they do definitely make a difference.
And then, what difference is there between over the counter and prescription flea and tick medications?
Yes, of course, I'm a little bit biased with our products here, but we have known for them and we have done our research, and the companies as well have done their research and testing to prove that Simparica Trio, which is a chewable, a monthly chewable, is effective. And from all 12 months of the year, I recommend, so it is a myth that dogs and cats don't have to be on prevention during the winter months, especially with global warming. Their life cycles are changing. They have been becoming more prevalent throughout even the colder months. So, over the counter medications, I don't really trust in them that much. I haven't done my research on them, but I have done my research on Simparica Trio, Brevecto, and Revolution Plus, and I do strongly recommend and trust those products in comparison to the over-the-counter.
Then what are the different types of flea and tick preventative treatments out there?
Yeah, there are thankfully a lot of options, Zach. So oral medications, as I mentioned, the Simparica Trio and Brevecto for our dogs, topical medication for our cats because they can be quite sensitive to some of the ingredients in the flea and tick medications. And also with the collars, those have been known to be effective as well, like the Seresto collar. I have personally had more exposure and knowledge with the Simparica Trio, the oral, and the Revolution Plus and Brevecto, which are the topical and also the oral.
What are what will my vet, what will my veterinarian recommend for flea and tick treatment?
Yeah, so let's see. I trust in Simparica Trio, which is it's kind of like all in one. So Simparica Trio is a monthly chewable tablet for our dogs. It prevents against heartworm disease and also fleas and ticks and intestinal parasites. And also Revolution Plus would be for fleas and also some certain intestinal parasites as well. That's our topical. And Brevecto is both a chewable for our dogs and a topical for our cats.
And how can I identify fleas on my dog?
Right, so with fleas, we mostly are concerned with looking out for the flea dirt. So the flea dirt is their poop, their defecation, the kind of digested blood meal that they take on when they're feasting on our dogs and cats. It kind of looks like little pepper speckles throughout their hair coat, but even if you don't see that, sometimes there can still be a flea hypersensitivity going on. So that's what I would look for. But if your furry family member is itching incessantly or even just itching a little bit more than normal and the dog is not on prevention, I would go ahead and bring your furry family member to Deer Park or your trusted veterinarian to get checked out with a flea comb. And that's how it's like, if you've ever seen a flea comb, the prongs of the comb are very close together and like concentrated. So we brush the dog or cat, and then we can kind of sometimes even see the flea within the comb, but mostly we're looking for that flea dirt.
And how do I identify ticks on my
Yes.
dog?
Yes, with ticks, if you have gone on a hike or even to just the dog park, sometimes ticks, and I forgot to mention this, but fleas like to hang out on the kind of the end of the tail base. So where the tail begins and the back of the furry family member ends, that's where they like to hang out. And then with the ticks, they mostly like to hang out on the ears, especially with floppy eared dogs on the ears or kind of the chest area or the belly, but they can be anywhere, generalized. So just make sure you're doing a thorough kind of check, okay?
Last question, Dr. Scott. What should I do if I see fleas or ticks on my dog?
I would recommend, of course, coming to see, us here at Deer Park Veterinary Hospital, but I know there's a lot of educational videos out there as well on YouTube and TikTok. And with the tick, you need to get the mouth parts of the tick. So that's why I would recommend coming to your veterinarian because there's kind of specialized instrumentation that you need to use to get those mouth parts. But if you want to get the flea or tick off, mostly with the tick, but make sure you get those mouth parts, okay? And then I would contact your veterinarian, contact Zach, our client service representative, and make sure you schedule an appointment so we can do a more thorough look and make sure those mouth parts are out, okay? And then with the fleas, you're looking for that flea dirt, but like I said, even if the dog or cat is more itchy than usual, I would recommend scheduling an appointment with the veterinarian so we can do a more thorough check with that flea comb, okay, and more kind of just a more generalized look over of the dog or cat. Thank you guys so much for joining Zach and I again. Let us know if you have any questions. We are always happy to help with any questions that you may have, and make sure you're staying up to date on your annual wellness appointments and also vaccine appointments as well. And the most important is to stay up on your prevention as well. Thank you guys so much. And just let us know if you have any questions. We're always here to help.
Thank you, Dr. Scott.